and sit down.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
I'm Jake. Greetings, programs. We are joined today by the fabulous Charity Edwards, who's going to be talking with us about all the fantastic stuff she has been up to. What do you want to start, Dave?
I'm going to start first by showing off my wonderful shirt. Oh, there we go.
Does it say something?
It does. Well, it's partway through saying something.
It looks like just 5 little rectangles.
They are, but the two on the ends are like that. It's from the credits, opening credit sequence of Alien.
Okay, it is Alien. All right.
Yeah, you know when the lines
yep.
fade in?
Yeah.
It's that.
It would be cooler if it was like glow in the dark, and if you went in the dark, the rest of it filled in.
Oh, there we go. I might have to do that. I'll have to get some black.
I dig it.
Yeah, we'll get that working. We'll say hi to everybody in the chat. Richard Ralph is here. Dave Hummel is here. Hello. Scott Radom, Chris Kemmig. Scott says he's working on an LVO entry right now. Death Corps of Krieg's squad or diorama entry. They're all going to be on the same base, so he doesn't know which category they'll go into. But
I would just, when you get there, I would ask which category has more entries and then put it in the other one.
That's not bad advice.
Awesome. Luis is here. Chris says, very nice. Would love to go to LVO again, but it's just too close to AdeptiCon for me. Alan is here from New Zealand. Afternoon all. Yes, afternoon indeed. Mike is here. Welcome, Mike. Hey. Excellent. And yes, Mike says winning tips.
I try. Don't work harder, work smarter.
Yep. Or work both, harder and smarter.
It's smarter's better though.
You're like exponentially ahead. Right?
I don't know if it works that way. I think you have to pick one, but
you do? I don't think
so.
That sounds like a harder thing.
That's why you work smarter.
And harder. But anyway. Yes. So tonight, as we said, we've got Charity with us. Charity is going to be talking us through all the wonderful things that she has planned for LVO. I mean, everything for all the classes for LVO are all up on the website now, right?
Yes.
And the LVO website is linked below, so folks can check that out. Obviously, we've got AdeptiCon 2025 rapidly approaching.
Yes.
Only
way too fast.
5 months away. But new location, new venue, new sizes of rooms and shapes of rooms. So we'll get to talk about all the sort of the fun bits and pieces about that. But also we'll have a bit of a recap of Battlezone Ursa, which is the event that you help run in Anchorage.
Yes.
So that's where you're sitting at the moment. What time is it in Anchorage? 7 o'clock here.
It's a little after 3.
Little after 3. Okay, so it's 4 hours difference.
Mm-hmm.
I've always, I was wondering that all day today, but I never went and looked it up because I'm lazy. I knew I could just ask you tonight.
Yeah, you guys are one time zone further than California, right?
Yeah,
correct. We are our own time zone.
Nice. No, that's cool. So yeah, we'll go through and we'll talk about that. And yeah, did you have anything that you need to add first, Jake?
I don't think so.
No. Oh, one thing I noticed that you've got.
Oh yeah, it's been a heck of a week. I'm not going to get into it. Unless people really want to know. My friends of mine can message me. But I will say men's health is health. So make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves and doing everything you need to do. Also, you should register to vote. But more importantly, we hit 700 subscribers. Woo! So that's awesome. We finally are over the 7th century mark. with the cold weather approaching, and for people like Charity, where it never leaves, we are going to be doing a new order of custom hoodies. So I'm going to put them up, and Dave and I'll have a link. I didn't get a chance to do it this week. Things just got away from me. But I'll put it up. What we'll probably do is you'll be able to pick a size, and we'll have 3 different patterns. So this is the Stars and Stripes one that I was wearing at LVO, at Nova. And then we have one that's going to be like a charcoal black. It's a triple black camo that looks really cool. And then we'll probably do either a solid black, or Dave and I might come up with another pattern, but you'll be able to pick the pattern you want and then pick your size. And it'll be just like this. It'll have BuildPaintPlay on the front, and it'll have all of our sponsors and stuff on the back.
Sponsorship information. Yep.
And then we'll get those out. But the idea would be I'll be able to get them to everybody by the end of the year. So you would have them either hopefully as a Christmas present or holiday present or Hanukkah present or whatever you're into. Thanksgiving, Happy Orkmas, like whatever you're all about. But yeah, that'll be, I'll make sure that I have that up either by the end of the week, and if not, then for next episode for sure we'll have it up in the notes.
Cool. Excellent. Chris said, I wish I had one of those hoodies to rep at the event I'm going to this weekend. You better rep it every event after Christmas. You'll be all good. Or message Jake. Trevor says, sweet, I need a BuildPaintPlay hoodie or zip up.
I can do one of the options as a zip up. This one only comes in a pullover. I'm a sucker for pullovers, so I have this one in a pullover. The camo one I think also only comes in pullover, so maybe I'll just do like a straight black one that's a zip up, like the one we did for Cat.
Yeah,
Cat has the only zip up BuildPaintPlay hoodie on the planet at the moment, but we will make more as part of the new batch. So,
yeah, excellent.
Awesome.
Alan says cold weather, maybe in the northern hemisphere. It's nearly summer here, but I
It is here too.
Next year.
We just had a huge Chinook windstorm yesterday, so we have no snow and wind.
Just wind.
See, I'm a New Englander, so like I like the cold. We get all 4 seasons up here. It's been really weird because usually by the time you get into like mid to late October, we usually start getting the cooler air. This whole week has been 70, which is just really strange for this time of year. But
yeah,
but it's great. You go outside, it's like all the fall foliage that New England's famous for. So it's like there's like oranges and reds everywhere. It looks great, but you're like, it's really warm out. I'm outside in like a t-shirt. Like this seems a little strange, but it's almost like climate change is real.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is.
It's real.
It is. Totally.
All right, what else we got?
Awesome. So should we jump into straight into the bits and pieces?
Yeah, we can do. You want to do hobby first? You want to do Army Painter first? What do you want to do?
We'll do Army Painter first because I always put that slide at the front of the presentation. So there we go. So yes. As you can see, there's a little bit of Inception happening here.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yep. So our wonderful friends at the Army Painter, who wonderfully sponsor us each week, they sent us a bunch of questions. So Jake and I had to answer those questions and send some photos. So you can go and check out the blog post. Again, Army Painter website linked below, and you can find out what we've been up to if you don't really know who we are, except for our Jake's wonderful dulcet tones and my kind of high-pitched whininess. You can find out more about us. Be all good.
Dave, it's your accent, Dave. Your accent is charming.
Oh, my accent is charming.
Yeah, that's why. That's why people tune in for your accent.
They do. It helps. Really, that helps. Without the accent, I'm a 3. With the accent, I'm like
Dave's an Australian 7, but a Baltimore 8.
9. But anyway, yeah, you can go and check it out. We're there. But also in the links below, there is our first, I guess, affiliate link.
Oh, right. Yeah.
As part of this, we were asked what our 3 favorite products were from the Army Painter. We let them know what our 3 favorite products were. And in the link below, you can click on there if you want to pick up those items direct from the Army Painter. And they'll know that you came from our link, I guess.
That's true. I mean, I'm assuming.
But of course, Jake and I will always say, if you're able to pick this up at your local hobby store, buy it there.
100%.
Buy local, for sure. Even if your store is Alpha Omega Hobby.
I mean, obviously, like it should be, but if it's not, I understand.
Yeah, all good. But
Dave almost like throws money at screen.
Yeah, he's after that hoodie for sure.
He's trying to feed the money into the disk drive.
Yeah, you can do it for sure. Well, excellent. I'm going to pop back to this view for a second. Charity.
Yes.
Have you been up to any hobby stuff lately? Have you had time for any hobby stuff?
Sort of. Been working really hard on my AdeptiCon and LVO stuff. I do take an occasional break every Tuesday, and we go to our local game store, actually, and we paint. And we call it a hobby night. It originated here a couple years ago with just me, Trevor, and a friend. And now it's about at 17 people sometimes, a little more, a little less. It just varies. So every week I get at least one break to do my hobby.
Nice. Nice. What'd you paint last week?
I'm working on my dragon. I've got a really pretty dragon, and it's a 3D print that Trevor did for me, and it's a dragon made out of leaves and flowers and stuff. So I'm trying to do like an all 4 seasons kind of paint job on her. Going, from spring into or summer to spring to fall, and then winter at the top with blues and stuff. Cool.
That'll be sweet. Have to make sure you post some photos in our Facebook group, BuildPaintPlay community.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome. Jake, have you had a chance to do any hobby?
I did some hobbying. I didn't do any painting this week. What did I do this week? So I'm working on like a holiday thing, like a kind of a big Secret Santa group swap thing with a bunch of friends of mine. And for my thing, I'm building a bunch of Magic Commander decks for people. I have a bunch of friends who play, and I have a bunch of friends who want to learn how to play. So it can be kind of daunting if you don't really know what you're doing. So I told you I was cleaning out my collection a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So while I was doing that, I pulled a bunch of cards that I was going to get rid of, and then I pulled a bunch of cards from my collection, and I'm building 8. 5 of them are basically done. 2 of them are missing like 1 or 2 cards, and then I have another couple that I'm still working on. But the plan is I'll probably end up doing 12 of them, and then there's a whole bunch of us in the group, and anybody who wants to swap, I'm going to basically swap out with people so that everybody you can take as many people as you want. So if you wanted to do 4 or 5 people, you can. If you want to do 1 person, that's fine too. But I'm working on that. And then I ordered some new hockey gear. Another hobby of mine, I play ice hockey, so I'm waiting for that stuff to show up. I'm excited about that. And then I ordered a new board game that I've been waiting on. That's finally like arrived. So it's getting shipped to the store, but I don't have it yet. But I'm excited for that. So
awesome. That's a big
and I picked up a new book.
A new book.
Yeah. I picked up. I shouldn't say that. I picked up like 3 or 4 more like paperbacks to read. So I read all the time. So I grabbed like a bunch more of those. So
cool. Awesome. Some folks in the chat. We got Josh says hobby report for last weekend. Ran a paint and take. Next weekend, hosting another painting.
Nice.
Awesome. Great stuff, Josh. Mike said he painted up some 28mm cowboys for a cowboy for What a Cowboy / Dead Man's Hand. So 2 different games, cowboy games. Chris Kemig said I took the challenge and was victorious. Reaver Titan in 1 week.
Yeah, he painted an armor. It's an armor cast Reaver.
We got photos later in the show. Excellent. And Scott says, "Wow, a game store owner getting friends into Magic the Gathering. Not at all self-serving."
To be fair, a lot of the people that are getting the commander decks are nowhere near me, so they are not necessarily my customers. They're friends of mine that live across the U.S. Play your cards right, Scott. Maybe I'll send you one.
Awesome. Dave Hummel says, it's too late for this year, but Jake, if you need a Santa to hand out gifts next year at your store, I'm down for a road trip. That's something that Dave does every year.
Absolutely possible. We do a lot of charity stuff. We do we do a board game drive for Children's Hospital, and we usually partner up with like Toys for Tots. So we do a lot of like local stuff whenever we can for the holidays.
Cool. Awesome. And Alan has said that he is trying to finish his Beta Decima terrain for Kill Team, I guess.
Nice.
And Luis says, I'm going to start my first Raven Guard army to start gaming.
Yeah, he's getting there. We were talking the other day. And I know that Dave Hummel, and I know that Steve Ryder and a couple of other people have asked. This week, my wife's going to be away doing college visits. She works for college. She's not prospecting. She's getting prospect.
You're saying that she's not 17.
Yeah, no. She's going to be away for most of this week. So this week I'm going to go through my 40K and my Warhammer collection and figure out what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to get rid of. And I know that a bunch of people have asked, so that's the plan for this week. And then once that's done, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to paint for AdeptiCon. So
nice.
But I bring it up because Luis wants to start Raven Guard, and he was going to do anybody who doesn't play 40K. The easiest way to play is to do a combat patrol.
Right.
So the combat patrol that I think is the easiest to play, that is 100% the Raven Guard combat patrol, is this combat patrol.
Okay.
It's the Vanguard one.
Vanguard.
But they don't sell it.
No.
So I was gonna order him the Vanguard, whatever that Vanguard box is that comes with all that stuff. It's the Space Marine half of that box that had Chaos Marines and Vanguard Marines.
Yep.
But it's been out of stock forever on GW's website, and it's the only way to get the suppressors.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I have some extra suppressors because I have 3 from the box I bought, and then I split a box with a buddy, so I have another 3. I'm never going to run more than 6, and then Ben gave me 3 more. So I gotta find them, but once I find them, I'm gonna get them to Luis. So
that'll be fine. Plenty.
To be able to actually play a Raven Guard Vanguard force.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. And as for myself, I painted up another squad of arbitrators. Yeah.
This is another squad. You showed this squad off last week.
No, this is the second one.
Are you sure?
This is squad 18.
All right.
The other squad was squad 56.
Okay.
I did have to check after I'd taken the photo. It was like, I think I might have used this one last week, but then it was like, nope, this is a completely different squad.
Because I see they have the golden chicken in the background and they have the Cyber Mastiff.
Yep. So yeah, this squad's got the heavy stubber. The last squad didn't have that. So.
Oh, right.
And the leader has the baton, and this guy has the leash. So. But yeah, so
I love that. That squad is so cool. I love that box.
I now have my arbitrators done, so I've got coming close to 100 models for this army. But because they're super cheap, it's about 1,000 points. So I just need to add some more things. So I'm going to be adding some Death Watch kill teams, and I'm going to build them all from Primaris Marine body.
Yeah, it's too hard to go back.
It is.
Like once you get used to that scale.
Yeah.
It's you look at I think one of the coolest kits they've ever done is the Death Watch kill team that came in the Death Watch box game.
Yeah. Kill Team Cassius.
Yeah, because it's got like there's like the White Scar biker, which is where you got these pieces from. I can see the bird on his back. And then you've got like the Space Wolf guy, and like the giant salamander with the built-in was it a melta or a flamer on his power fist? Those that kit is amazing.
Yeah.
That kit's phenomenal. But then you're like, oh, but they're all teeny tiny. They're like,
yeah,
they look so weird now because they're so small. But
yeah, absolutely. The yeah, it is tough to go back. But yeah, what I've done here is I cut out the I used the head. And I used the right arm of the White Scar.
Yep.
And his little Cyber Raven for this guy.
Yeah, I see you've got the Imperial Fists like frag launcher, and he's like targeting backpack.
Yep. So I was able to put those directly onto a Primaris model. This guy here is going to be using the Black Shield blades.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I've got him with a knife there, and he's got like the twin blades from the Vanguard models.
Very nice. Trevor wants to know if he should be doing up an Arbiter's dice bag for you. I think yes, but
not yet.
Just a big Judge Dredd double eagle on one side.
It'll probably be like an inquisitorial one. Is Trevor in the background there?
He's in the kitchen, yeah.
That's how he gets you. That's how he gets you.
It is exactly. But yeah, I'm really excited about working on these guys, and I've got cool.
Oh, I think that is one of the coolest flyers that they have ever made.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Also, so I think last week you guys were giving me grief about having my paints in a tub. Okay. Over the weekend, Alfonso Heraldes, aka Banshee, was in Baltimore. Was doing a class at the Gamers Core store.
And you gave him all your paints?
No, Will Hahn was hosting him. It was like, so he was staying at Will's place. Will, I popped in to see Will and Alfonso on the Sunday morning. And when Will sat down, Will was going to stay for the rest of the day, do some painting. This is how Will turned up with his paints. So there you go.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
Just me. It's not just me. I'm just saying. But Sunday evening, I was lucky enough to be able to go around to Will's place, where we had a lovely fire pit, and Will made us this awesome venison ragu.
Nice.
One of Will's other hobbies is hunting. So this particular venison he bagged last year, I think, and he dressed and bushed it in his backyard, just to the left of where we're sitting there, or where I'm sitting there.
Nice.
But yeah, we got to have a great conversation in the evening, and I didn't get home until well after midnight, so I was a tired boy yesterday. Very tired boy. Excellent. Sorry. So it says, yeah, but that dude needed to drive around. Your everyday set is hella whack day. Yes. Mine is the same or a little worse, but I don't make excuses. This is true. You don't, Scott. But also,
Scott, anyway, Scott also wanted to know, Charity, do you play any mini games, or are you exclusively just a painter?
Mostly just a painter. I've thought about getting into a couple of them. I've played a couple demos. I'm just trying to find the right one. I kind of like the length of the Skaven one that just came out, Skaven Type.
Yep.
So I think if I do, that'll probably be the one I try.
Yeah. What is it? What's the? Dave, what is it? Was it Jade Fire and Jade or Jade Fire?
Oh, for Spearhead. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Spearhead format.
Yeah. I think if you're thinking about Skaven, that's the easiest thing to try, because it's not huge and Spearhead is balanced. So you can play against any other Vanguard or Spearhead. So.
Yeah. Nice.
Other than that, I'm just an old-fashioned D&D geek. So
that's how I started. I think that's how most of us started, is painting D&D minis.
Yeah. So we got Super Dan Osborne is in the chat as well. Hi Dan. He said, let's not talk about paint tables. I've got a Lancer, 14 Chaos Knights, a Warhound, and multiple other random projects I got to finish.
Nice.
This sounds like a regular Tuesday for you, Dan. And I guess Cal keeps swearing and is being automatically retracted from the conversation. I'm not sure. Anyway. Awesome. But yeah, should we jump in, Charity, and talk about, we've rambled enough about ourselves.
Sure.
Jump in and talk about, oh my goodness, D&D way back in 78, 79. I didn't start until like 83, 84.
Yeah, I think I'm like 84, 83, 84, 85, somewhere in there.
Yep.
Excellent.
Cal is having a hell of a time.
Yeah. We'll leave you to it, Cal. We'll catch back up with you in a minute. Awesome. So next up, Well, first, I thought we'd throw this one in first.
Nova.
Nova. So these are some photos for when you made a flying visit to Nova.
Yes,
So,
I flew into Atlanta for DragonCon, helped set up our booth, and then flew out the next morning for Nova, and then flew back home the next morning after that, back to, or not home, but back to DragonCon to work the next 4 days. So I got to have 1 day at Nova. So I tried to make the best of it and see everything I could, and I helped work the Verko Vault booth, and it was a lot of fun. I would love to go back.
yeah, no, it's awesome. And yeah, you and Trevor have been going to DragonCon for how long now?
Oh, goodness.
Many
15 years, maybe?
Oh, geez.
10, 15, yeah.
Yep.
We've been there quite a while.
And that's always
It's
on
one of
the
our
Labor Day
big
weekend.
shows.
Yeah, so Labor Day weekend. So obviously clashes all the time with Nova, but it was super cool that you were able to break away for that day. Come and check it out.
Yes.
On the right, top right there, is that from is that like one of the sample minis from Goblin's Hut?
Yes, that was Mark from Goblin's Hut. I loved it. He was showing me the, the snot and the blood effects. And he's, they've been working on it for over a year, trying to get the right consistency, and they finally nailed it, and they were releasing it actually in October. And so he had a sneak peek there at Nova, and it is amazing. We used and abused it quite a lot at Battlezone Ursa too, showing people. And it is phenomenal stuff. And within a minute, if you want to paint over it or add pigment to it, you can. It doesn't take a whole lot to set up, but then it's pretty solid after 24 hours. But yeah, you can already start doing stuff to it after you've maybe a minute. So
Right.
really, really fun stuff.
Awesome.
Well, I'm bringing in that whole line. He and I were chatting at Nova. Dave and I had him on a couple of months ago, and they were like getting close. Like he was still waiting for the final sort of formula to get approved or whatever, or he was waiting for the final like I guess betas to come back so we could approve them.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll have all that stuff in stock. And Mark is such a nice guy too. So
yes, that helps. I love supporting, smaller businesses like that, and especially Mark. He is such a nice guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I think in that top left photo, I think Dave and I are just out of frame. Because the Army Painter booth was literally just to the right of the Terminator.
That was interesting because I spent, all this time running amok and talking with Dan and talking with Mike and talking, with all the vendors and whatnot. I didn't find the gaming. I didn't even find this room until like the last couple hours. And I walked in there and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. Cool. Scott says Nova was a blast. We'll likely go back this year. Cal also said 1977 for starting D&D for him. Scott also asked Charity, how fragile is the Goblin's Hut stuff? Could you do gamer stuff and not expect it to break off easily?
Absolutely. We just used it on some Tyranid terrain for our local, for BZU. And worked fantastic, and really kind of made the table look really phenomenal for the competitions, for the tournaments.
The tournaments, excellent, very cool. Oh, and Mick Palazzi has joined us from Australia. Welcome, Mick. Very cool. So the next set of photos I got from Battlezone Ursa. So quickly give us a rundown on that and how that went this year, because that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was the first weekend in October, and it went really, really well. We have grown significantly in the last couple of years. This started only about 6 years ago, I think, in a high school gymnasium, and you had to spread it out basically to kind of fill it.
Right.
And now we just this year took up the upstairs of our convention center and had, over 400 people in attendance. We ran out of name badges at 400. Our painting contest went from last year 50 or so. We had 20 more submissions in the painting contest alone this year. So we were in the 70s for entries.
Cool.
And the first time ever we've had 5 youth entries instead of 0. You know, we were really concentrating on our youth this year. You know, that's the future of the hobby.
Yep.
So that was pretty awesome. Our 40K tables were absolutely packed. We almost had to start turning people away. I mean, we had to keep adding tables towards the end because people kept signing up. And this is one of the little guys in our youth. That was his little orc that he entered. And
Yep.
that is him sitting down and starting on his next project for next Ursa. He is 7 years old. Just an absolute, just a joy, a little boy. He comes every Tuesday with his dad to paint night. And he sits there and works on his orcs every Tuesday, and just very well behaved, and just he loves it. It's adorable.
He's like a little Dave
so
Taylor. He sets aside time and he just plugs away at his army.
he
Yep.
does. I was shocked. I was at first, I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. A 7-year-old, painting. This is going to be interesting. But he does. He loves it, and he does very, very well. And everybody is, very warm and receptive to him. He'll come up once in a while and, well, what are you doing, or what are you painting? And we just tell him, and he's like, okay. And then he goes back and paints his work some more.
Yep. No, that's cool.
Dave and I got to experience some of that at San Diego. Like, working with little kids is crazy. Like, it's really fun. And you have to, right, the first couple of times it happens, you're like, oh boy, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here.
I worked in the school district. Yeah, I was like, oh God.
But no, it's been great. It's been great. I love it. I love seeing little kids do it, because it takes you back, right? I remember when I first started painting, I mean, I was probably 8 or 9. So, not much older than this kid. And, as a kid who had ADD,
Yep.
sitting down and being like, oh, like I get lost for hours, just like
Yep.
painting.
Well, and he
it's something
started
to focus on.
last year. He was only 6 when he started. He's been coming for over a year.
That's phenomenal.
That's excellent. Super cool.
These are some of the classes. The top one you see with our guest. We had a guest come up, Brian. I never know if I pronounce his name right. Lavia, I believe.
Okay.
He's a big streamer, but super nice guy. He came up and was a special artist and judge. He helped us judge for the contest also, and very well receptive. People loved his class. He did skin tones and used the Chimera paints, and it was a really well receptive class. You've
Cool.
got Trevor down in the corner, and then you'll see on the other corner, that was our paint and take area that was so full in the other corner.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We keep mentioning Trevor. We had Trevor on earlier this year,
Yes.
right before our AdeptiCon episode. Yeah, Trevor did all of our wonderful dice bags, so Armored Wolf. So you can go back and check out Trevor after the show. You can go and check out previous show.
Yeah, our day job making leather products.
Yeah. So absolutely awesome. Very cool. So how many classes do you have? You had
We didn't have a lot. We only had 3 a day because the people that were teaching the classes were also the judges for the painting contest, so we had to make sure they had time to judge.
Sure.
Because our judging criteria is kind of extensive. We have several different areas where you're judged on, and you give feedback on those areas. So it takes a while just to even judge one mini, and we insist on every single mini being judged this way. So every single person gets feedback.
Right. Cool. Excellent. And you also sent these.
I did. I couldn't help it. I loved them. Trevor did the first, second, and third prizes, of course, for the 40K tournament. And you'll see the Warhammer here, there in the corner that the guy is holding. That he is actually custom painting for the gentleman in the army that he chose.
Okay.
So that's why it's not finished yet. They get to hold it and get pictures taken. And then he's actually downstairs right now working on it to do the custom colors that the gentleman's army is in. And then you'll see the gun, which was a huge hit. We had a lot of people that just wanted to pose with it. And
Oh, yeah.
And then the skull, I love that. That one just came out amazing. But Trevor painted them all. A friend of ours, 3D printed them, and we put them, or Trevor put them together and painted them and designed them. I just love them. I think they came out really well.
That's awesome.
They look awesome.
And it's so Battlezone Ursa, is that the same weekend every year?
Yes. Well, we're trying. We're having a little bit of a conversation right now with our convention center. They had another convention want to take our spot.
Yep.
So it may be a little further into October this next year, but we were trying to keeping it in October.
Cool. Excellent. So if anybody wants to take a trip to the mighty Great White North,
Absolutely.
In October,
it's off prime time, for our tourist season, so the hotels are cheaper during that time too.
Yep.
It's usually chillier, not this year, but usually we have 50s, 60s, or no, not 60s, mainly 50s. Right. So it's not terribly cold either. It's a great time really to come up.
Excellent.
And where are you guys? What city is it?
We're in Anchorage. We're City 5.
Yeah.
No, maybe I was going to say maybe I can talk my wife into that. We the trip I was just out in California, her cousin lives just outside of Anchorage, and he's like, "You guys should come up and visit us." So I was like, maybe I can kill two birds. We should go in October. Maybe I can sell that. So
yeah.
Well, it's a great time. It really is. It's not too hot, not too cold. You still have that fall weather like you were talking about. And that's why I like, September, October, that's fall. You have the pretty leaves and the scenery.
Yeah. That's awesome. Super cool. But that's Battlezone Ursa was just a bonus, really. We didn't get you on to talk about Battlezone Ursa. We're going to jump about.
Thank you for letting me talk about it. I love it.
All cool. I think it's great. Very excited to see it growing. But we brought you on to talk about two things: LVO and AdeptiCon.
Yes.
So I guess a bit of the backstory is that for the last many years, you and Trevor have been helping Damon run the hobby seminars and the hobby lounge, aka Fort Wapple, at AdeptiCon. I think the last 3 years I've worked for you at the show. There we go. Yep. You've also been involved in the hobby side of things at LVO.
Correct.
For the last little bit, but this year, or this coming LVO, so LVO 2025,
big changes. It's so exciting. Yes, we have completely restructured the hobby program there. Verko's Vault are the people that actually took over the hobby program, and they brought me on to help direct it. Cool. They've seen my work, at AdeptiCon and other things. So they wanted that for LVO, and I agreed. So me and Trevor came on for LVO. The painting competition is completely revamped. We will have, definitely a nice purse. There's also a chance with the master classes. This year we have Marco and Matt DiPietro and Tim Marsh and Eric Swinson for our master classes. Now, what we'll do this next year is people that place in the painting competition this year in the top spots will then have the option of teaching the master classes next year.
Okay.
So we're going to try and keep that revolving, and so that there's always new and always something, going on for everybody. Yep. So I'm really excited about that. Also,
so just quickly, Charity, the master classes, are they a 3-day thing?
They are. They start Friday and end Sunday. They go 8 to 5 every day. We supply, the like continental breakfast and then lunch. So that's part of the ticket. You get that time. There's only 16 people per class, no more. So you get that quality time with each one of those teachers for all 3 days.
Yep. Excellent.
It's a fantastic opportunity.
Cool. We got Scott in the chat. Says that he is already registered for Eric's masterclass, and has the plane and room tickets. Sorry, plane tickets and room booked. He also asked. He said, "Are you involved in the painting competition? The categories and judging looks goofy."
It's different. We are revamping it. We kind of took probably the best of different competitions that we've all been a part of and sat down and had a big powwow and said, okay, we like this about this competition. We like, this. So there'll definitely be feedback. We are also going to, merit with little merit coins. And if you get a gold merit coin, then you're in line for best of show.
Right.
So it's you can go online and see. I don't want to go through all the rules because we'll be sitting here for an hour going over, all the specifications. But it's actually a really, really good deal because everybody gets looked at. Everybody gets feedback. We have chosen judges for their experience and also they've judged other competitions primarily in Europe. A lot of the judges we're bringing over, they're used to giving feedback. They're used to judging in the way that we're going to be judging. And you'll have at least 3 judges per category. So that's going to help too. And I know something that I was pushing for is if like in an open category or a sculpting category, I want to make sure we have someone like Africa or somebody that's very familiar with sculpting in that category judging.
Sure.
That to me is important. I don't, they're going to know more than somebody else and know if it's modified, know if it's not, things like that. So I'm really excited for it. I think people are hesitant to change and I totally get that. But I think it's going to be a very, very positive and a good change. And I'm hoping everybody sees that once they get there and experience it. We will try and have, the same kind of categories as like you'll see anywhere else, a single. The one that is different for this contest is there is a larger based single miniature versus, for the really big guys like what Kaha paints sometimes and those things. Yep. So that's a different thing that you usually don't see at MHE. You don't see it usually at AdeptiCon unless it's in a diorama or something. So that has its own category this year, which is kind of nice. And then it's not against, a mini this big and then.
Yep. Okay.
So
cool.
It's very exciting, and I'm working very closely with David and Gary Sparks, the owner of Verko's Vault, Penny, who's another employee there, and we're all very close. And I'm actually flying down in December for us to get some stuff, just make sure it goes as smoothly as possible. There'll probably be hiccups. I mean, anytime there's a change, bound to happen, but we will try and make this as smooth as possible and as fun as possible. So the classes are booked. We have 27 different instructors this year, much more than has been in the past. And then we have the 4 master classes. So there's lots to do, lots to see. And I made sure a variety. We have people doing basing. We have people doing, skin tone. We have people doing terrain. I mean, you name it. And we've got something for somebody.
Cool. And those other classes, the 27 other instructors that you've got teaching classes across the weekend, those classes range in time, like 2 hours, 4 hours.
We kept them pretty uniform to 2 hours and 4 hours.
Okay.
And that way you're not getting, 2.5 here, 2 here, 4 here, that helps us too when we're changing over the rooms and whatnot to just keep them in a block. So they'll either be 2 hour or 4 hour.
Right. Okay. Cool. That's good. Scott also says that he's going to be at Verko's this weekend. Looking forward to the tour at Gary's house. So
it's a must. If anybody goes to Vegas, go check out the vault. And if Gary's there, he is so just an awesome human being. And if you just mention you love minis, he'll probably invite you over. I mean, it is mind-boggling the amount that this man has, and the museum that he's building is just. I got to walk through it, and I was tired. It was like, oh my gosh!
Awesome. I think we'll try and have someone from Verko's Vault on, maybe Chris or David, next year when it opens.
When it opens, yeah.
And that'd be fantastic. Excellent. So fantastic. That's LVO. Scott also asked, are there any events planned for the evenings? Hobby events, I guess. Or
well, we have classes going all the way to evening, and then we have also the paint and take area, which is going to be like the hobby den, or the hobby hub. And in there, you'll have time to just paint and hang out. We also have Squidmar coming to do some presentations. And we have Artist Opus also doing some in there. So and those are at, no cost. So there's a lot to do, yes, at all times until it closes. And it's Vegas, so nothing ever closes completely. So there's stuff going all the way into the evening, absolutely.
Excellent. I think we have mentioned Verko's Vault a couple of times, but for those who haven't heard yet,
Verko's top two are Gary's house.
Yep. So Gary Sparks is a miniature enthusiast, dialed up to like 11 to the power of 11.
He's like two Steven Riders.
Yeah, exactly. Gary's been collecting miniatures painted by artists that he loves for many years, and he's putting together this wonderful miniatures museum and workshop. He's going to have an artist in residence, I think.
Yes.
There's going to be a gift shop as well, of course. All these wonderful things. But most of the photos that you'll see before the opening will be photos taken in Gary's house of the incredible collection. Where Charity, I think you said like every horizontal surface is covered in.
And it's not an exaggeration, quite literally. And that's why I sent the pictures. Is if you'll see the big one with one of Kaha's big, angel there. That is his kitchen island.
Right.
The one to the right there is his stove.
Yep.
So if you want to cook something, then the assistant comes over and moves the minis so you can cook. I mean, literally, I am not exaggerating. Every surface.
Listen, if Gary has too much money, have him contact us. We could always use another sponsor. We'll fly out there and move miniatures around. Whatever.
And you can see the bottom there. That's the building that's going to be the museum, and it's going to have classrooms and, of course, the retail store. Right now, the picture next to that is the office area. It's a building adjacent, and they have been holding classes in there. Right now, they've got the one big classroom until the big museum is open. Then they're doing it right in the admin part. And he's got a small actual part of the museum there already, so people have things to look at and see. But he has over 16,000 miniatures. I mean, he didn't count for a long time. Well, when he started counting, so it's pretty impressive. He's going to have over a 3,000 square foot diorama alone in the museum. No. It's pretty amazing. I got to walk through it, and it's going to be fantastic. If there was somebody to do this, I'm glad it's him. He's got the way to do it and the place, and it's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait to go back and actually just go through the museum when it's done.
That's super cool. Brett Abbott. Sort of just going to throw in Brett Abbott in the chat. Hey, Brett said, missing a trick if you don't have a late night stripping class. stripping figures, of course. Yes.
In Vegas, well, you never know.
I'm sure there's one that's being offered, just probably not in the same building.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. You have to go down a block.
So says Jake, Gary got his start giving his friends gifts of magic cards.
Nice.
Then he opened a store that sells magic cards.
Nice.
Get ready to join the 1% club, baby.
Nobody who works in our industry is part of the 1% club, buddy. I got news for you.
Hank has just joined us. Hey, Hank. Welcome. Awesome. So here are a couple of other photos from Verko's vault?
You can see the big things that get to greet you as you walk in those front doors. There's the desk, and then I love the little guy there, and then the Black Rider. God, I can't remember the name.
Oh, this is the Witch King.
Thank you, the Witch King. That is, I believe, a third of a scale, so it's a pretty decent size.
Yeah.
He's got all the stuff. Like I said, you can walk up to check it out. The Balrog. It's amazing. You can stand next to it. Get your picture taken with it. This was actually one of the sculptures from Bobo Rhino. I believe it was Christos design, and that was one of the teachers that was there while I was there visiting. They were from Greece, and they were in the picture there sitting next to me for dinner that night. Awesome. But
I see a giant Tiamat in the top right corner.
Oh, sorry.
No. Yeah. No, it's a fantastic place. I highly recommend it. Even if you just, swing by and say hi, they're very lovely people and will more than willing, just let you walk in and check it out.
Oh, that's fantastic. Super cool. So we'll keep everybody up to date on how things are going with the development of Verko's vault as it goes along. But super cool. Next up, of course, now that Hank has joined us, we can talk about.
Yay! It's AdeptiCon. That's home away from home.
Excellent.
My favorite show.
Yep.
Mine too.
So AdeptiCon this year, coming up, next year, 2025, the next AdeptiCon to occur will be held in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Speaking of getting back to shows that we've done previously, if you head back to May, I think it was episode 20 of season 4, we had Hank and Matthias on after I had done the visit. Charity was at as well, which was Memorial Day weekend, I think, where we got to go and have a look around. This past weekend, they had another
walkthrough,
meet and greet walkthrough kind of thing. So where all of where vendors were invited to come and check things out. So Hank can let us know how many folks joined them this weekend. But tell us about AdeptiCon, what we can expect from the hobby offering, which I guess will be going on sale later in the year, towards the end of November.
It's super exciting. We've got several rooms. We've got more than we've ever had before. We've got more instructors than we've ever had before. Hope our darling Banshee, who you see up in the corner, is always, he's coming back. Yep. Our Fort Wapple is actually going to be larger, which will accommodate more, which is a huge deal because it fills up rather fast. And this last year, we found that it was busier than any year previous too. We had every seat taken all the way up to midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning before people had started to disperse, which is fantastic. It's exciting, but it left no room for other people. So we are adding to that. We will have a larger area for Fort Wapple to accommodate more, and I'm totally excited about that. We will have, of course, the different paint lines in there, just like we have in the past, and it'll be the same, just bigger.
Cool.
Of course, as you can see in the, I had to put Golden Demon in there because, they're coming back. So we will also have our Golden Demon. Yep. And then in the other corner, you see a bunch of us staff members after it was all said and done, finally going, we will have definitely a large presence of volunteers again this year. Yep. I will bring my croonies down. There's usually about 8 to 10 of us coming down from Alaska alone. Our misplaced Alaskan, which is Scott, he'll be coming over from Texas. Cool. And then we have quite a few, down there that like Dave and Matt Cicero and Josh and Nathan and his wife and all those guys. Yep. But I am going to be recruiting more this year, with it being as large as it is, and with us being on 2 floors. above and below, I want to make sure I've got enough staff for both. But yes,
Right.
we are going to be on the second floor and also on the first floor. So the good thing is it's just right on top of each other. So you just take an elevator or a escalator down. So it's still all in one area.
Cool.
You don't have to worry about running across the convention center to get to a different class, which was an issue in the past.
Right.
Having the airbrush classes all the way across and up and around the corner. Now we're all in one area, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
And yeah,
absolutely super cool. Hank says 32 or so vendors visited the location this weekend, which is very cool. I think it's awesome that you guys did that, Hank. Very cool. Alan says it's his first trip to the United States next year, and it's going to be going to Wisconsin. Cheese capital of the world.
yes.
No, fantastic. Milwaukee's great. I haven't been to the rest of Wisconsin, so I can't speak to that, but I have been to Milwaukee and had a fantastic time there.
I think I gained 5 pounds when I was there. The food is amazing, and it's all in walking distance. It's very dangerous.
I've been to Madison. Madison's fun. So now all I've been to.
Yep.
So I've been to Madison. I've been to where's GaryCon?
Lake Geneva.
So I've been to Lake Geneva, I've been to Madison, and now I've been to Milwaukee. So yeah, I mean, it's a good spot.
Yep, very cool. So yeah, we're excited about that. So classes wise, how many? You said we've got more instructors than ever. How many instructors?
We have 64 at this point,
64.
and then I've got a waiting list of 10.
Right. That's
so
crazy.
we have quite a few, and I had to cut them off. I'm literally out of space.
I was going to offer if you wanted Dave and I to do beginner painter lessons, but that's totally fine if I don't need to do that.
If I have some people, back out, I'll call you.
I suspect Reaver will be doing the paint and take in the vendor hall like they usually do.
Which
Maybe.
one?
We'll find out.
Hopefully. There now the vendor hall is Shelley's area, so I'm not sure. But I do know that they do usually have their own kind of thing going on there, and I'm pretty positive they probably will stick with that. We have the Fort Wapple, and they have their little paint and take, and it works well.
Yep.
And the vendor hall is a little bit away from us, so it'll be nice to have some kind of painting represented there also. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
And in the pictures, you can see an example. It's Erin Lovejoy actually teaching. And it's what I like about our instructors is you see the tables. We're going to try and set them up the same so people are not too much change. I capped all the classes, no more than 24 per room.
Okay.
That way we can alleviate the overcrowding situation, and it's better for the teachers. They don't have to try and figure out, oh, well, now I've got 30 people in here. Now I've got 32. No, we aren't going to do that. They are fantastic. And one of the reasons I love our teachers is they, as you can see in the one picture, is Aaron's getting up close and personal with them. He's, come up, hey, check it out. This is what we're doing. We are very selective about our teachers because we want the best. And as you can see at the bottom right, you've got my dear friends, Ben and Frederico and Francesco and me and Trevor. And I just, like I said, it's home away from home. It's my other family.
Yep. Very cool.
So those are some of the best teachers in the country right there, or in the world.
And you got some,
that's some of our flunkies. That's our minions. That's myself and I believe Melissa.
Yeah,
she's the Alaskan we brought down, and then that's our misplaced Alaskan. He moved to Texas last year, but we refused to admit it.
Right.
So we call him our misplaced Alaskan. Great people. I have probably the best group of volunteers imaginable. I'm very, very lucky. They work hard and they don't question. They just do it. And and Dave's even pretty good.
I'm okay. I think this past Adepticon, I was in a room resetting the wet palettes or something like that. And somebody came in and said, "Oh, Dave, you're running a class?" No, I'm not running a class. "Oh, are you organizing this whole thing?" No. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I said, I'm resetting the wet palettes.
Dave's running a class called How to Reset Wet
How
Palettes.
to reset wet palettes.
It's really short. It's like a 5-minute class.
I kind of have this rule, and I'm kind of mean about it, but they've all grown to accept it. Thank goodness. If you sit at that table, you're working.
Yep.
If you don't want to work, then you need to go sit at Fort Wapple or go tour the vendor hall, whatever. But as long as you're sitting at that table, you're working. So you could be anybody. If you're sitting there, I'm going to tell you to go clean a room.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Dan Osborne says, "I can't wait for these conventions. He's teaching weathering classes at both LVO and AdeptiCon. And he's going to try and sneak in some Adeptus Titanicus as well."
Yes. I did give him that caveat. He can. We weren't sure when the Titanicus was happening, so I'm like, well, if we need to, we can switch him around, because I know that was the one thing he asked for. So
excellent. Hank says, "I expect you'll have a few paint and take opportunities this year." So,
oh yeah, it's going to be
get ready for
fun.
That. Luis says that he can do the sub-assembly painting class.
Oh God.
Charity, we'll see one of Luis's sub-assemblies a little bit later, but Luis sent us some great photos this week. But awesome. And he said he had an absolute blast playing Titanicus last year at AdeptiCon. Devils were amazing and the team were glorious. That's my buddy Mark.
Yep.
He printed out so much terrain. It was amazing.
The terrain has not been stopped. We have so much more to print for this year. Poor Hank's garage, I don't think, is ever going to be the same. I mean, the amount of terrain, I don't think we've stopped printing from the end of Adepticon.
Wait, is Hank not also moving into a new venue with a bigger garage for you guys? Is he not? I thought Adepticon like the Royal Adepticon was moving, like all of it.
No. Hank has moved stuff out of the garage, so there's more painting tables in.
I think his wife would have something to say about that. So,
yeah.
So he's just going to add on and build a second garage.
That's an option. I wouldn't. I'd go down and help.
Up, like
okay,
on an extra level.
We could put a second story on that garage. I could see it happening.
Yeah, for sure. I think. Hank's friends with the zoning folks. We all good. And Alan says, "Don't forget about the Build-Paint-Play meetup."
That's true.
I'll have to organize something for this year, for sure. Excellent. And of course,
I'm probably going to get, texts about this. People don't sometimes realize, I think, just how much of us we put into it.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, and you're coming down off of everything, and you're just there.
Yep.
There's not much left, but you're there. And especially bless these guys, they come over from overseas. Some of them have to stay on that same sleeping schedule, because when they go back, they have to go right back to what they were doing. And they did. They come over, they give us everything they've got, and then we usually hit this one little area for breakfast the morning before we all leave. And this was literally like 2 hours before we all left. We hit there and then went straight to the airport. And you can see Francesco and Ben, Rico and Africa, and Ricardo, and of course my dear friends and chosen family, Kat and Caleb. Yep. And we were all just done. And I had to get a picture. I'm like, this is so raw, but so true, of coming down after one of these events. I think we've all been there. And but the after Adepticon, and this is when after I go home and I sleep for a week. because I allow myself 3 weeks of the year that I don't sleep, and it's usually AdeptiCon, LVO, and Battlezone Ursa, and then I go home and sleep for a week.
Sleep for a week afterwards. Yep, absolutely. I am totally with you on that.
There is a quick funny story about this picture.
I'll go for it.
Francesco and Federico got there earlier than us, so they had already eaten breakfast, and so they just got something small when the rest of us got there. But they had ordered pancakes. Well, over there, at the table, you usually get jam for them. There was a red product on the table, but it wasn't jam. But they didn't know that, so ketchup was put on to.
I gotta go. That's gross.
So he takes a bite and his face just I don't think that's jam. No, that's not jam. That's ketchup.
There's a tomato on the label.
They don't do that there, though. They put it in a dish.
In this one, it was in a dish. Like
it's served in a dish. So unless you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, his face kind of said it all. That poor guy.
Yeah.
So that could be part of Frederico's face there.
I do love a good breakfast. Whenever I go with my wife, I go true Hobbit style. I order 2 breakfasts. I usually get like some kind of crazy omelet or like a 3-egg breakfast or something, and then I also get like an order of pancakes or an order of waffles or something.
Oh, their crepes were fantastic there.
I do love pancakes.
Awesome. Sorry, just quickly, Hanka said we have expanded the storage unit. So,
yeah, it makes sense.
I can believe it. So we talked about that we've got more space at AdeptiCon.
Yes.
We've got more instructors, more classes being run. Similar sort of thing at LVO. You've got more instructors, more classes being run.
More herding cats.
How do you go about working out what type of classes you're going to have at the shows? Because you're coordinating that with the artists, right?
Oh yes, and most of them have their specialties. I always expect Joe Orteza to do some kind of sculpting.
Right.
Some people you just kind of know, and you know where you're going to put them. But then, I want a variety. So, and I also don't want like 10 sculpting classes all on the same time in the same row. I've had really good luck with several artists. Andy Worrell's coming back this year for AdeptiCon. And he flat out just asked me, what do you need? I said, well, I need more beginner classes. I need, terrain. I need this, I need that. And several of the artists have listened to that. And they said, not a problem. And so they have altered their classes to fit what I need. And which is very important, I think. I think we need a variety. We need to have that so that anybody can come and take a class, regardless if you're just into painting your army. I want to make sure we have something that, hey, how do you paint an army fast? Let's do speed painting armies, Well, great. Now I have somebody that wants to work on terrain. So I've got a terrain class, I want to make sure there's something for everyone. And that it's a challenge, but I've been doing it and it's worked. A lot of sweat hours have gone into it, a lot of late nights. I've been tweaking the schedule, but I think it's at a really good place right now. We are maxed out to 11 p.m. every single day.
Cool.
But except for Sunday, we have a 1 o'clock cutoff. But it's really exciting. It's really exciting to see the variety we have and how many of the artists were willing to, alter what they normally do to fit that. Excellent. It was pretty heartwarming. I know for LVO even we have Natalia. She's coming out of kind of a hidden retirement area there in Poland for it. Right. And Jeff Wilhelm, he's coming to AdeptiCon. So we've got quite a few people that have kind of been in the background for a while and really haven't been in the limelight, and they're coming back. And awesome. I love to see that.
Yeah. That's super cool. I did hear that that you have that when you start arranging the classes, that you have a whole bunch of like little rectangles of colored paper a different color for each 64 artists, and you just arrange them on a. Is that true?
It is. It's a terrifyingly. For most people, they might see it as crazy, intimidating. To me, it just makes sense. But
I think every nerd or geek has a healthy dose of OCD, and it's where we use it. So
exactly, and that's exactly it. I have to have, these colors assigned to each person, and that way, even at a glance, I know that that's Dave Taylor. I know that's and it just works for me. And I have them arranged by, but you do kind of run out of colors at one point, without getting too close. So then I started changing the text color. So it'd be like if I had a gray with black text, well, now I have a gray with white text, and they're two different people. So I had to get a little creative because of how many more people we have, but it still works.
Yeah. That's good.
But yes, it may look interesting to some people. And our blocks at AdeptiCon are a little different than LVO. We have our 2-hour blocks and we have our 4.5-hour blocks.
Right.
The only exception to that, we do allow only a couple 6-hour blocks. We are limiting those nowadays. We do not allow more than a couple. So I believe we have 3 this year of the 6-hour blocks. But that way it allows for more variety, more chances for people to take a class, that they might not have because they were in a tournament, etc. And that's something else that I advised some of the instructors, and most of them have taken it to heart. And that is like, if I have you scheduled for Wednesday evening for face painting, why not then try and do a Saturday morning for face painting? Try and mix it up so that you're not at that same time every single day. People are going to continue to miss you that want to take your class. So, having the varied times also helps.
Right. Oh, that's cool. Just quickly, Scott, it said, Charity, if there was an option for an in-depth feedback from the judges for entries at LVO about what was missing, how to move up a level, etc., I would pay dollars for the option. Scott, are you asking for a separate class as such, or are you just talking about general feedback directly with the judges immediately after the event? Let us know which one.
There will be feedback to tell you how to reach to the next level. If you got a bronze this year and you want to get silver, there will be feedback on how to advance. And if you have questions about that feedback, then yes, you can always say, hey, can I talk to one of the judges? And we will make sure there are some available. So if that's what he's asking, absolutely. If there's an actual class on how to advance the next level, I'm not sure. I don't think there's one at LVO, but I know we have a couple at Adepticon that that is the whole point of the class. One of them is how to up your 40K painting game, I think, or something to that effect.
Right.
When you're painting
for tournaments and
yes, when you're painting for tournaments, or we have one when you want to win a golden demon, tips and tricks on how to win a golden demon, I think, is another one of them. So there's definitely more aimed towards that at AdeptiCon.
Cool. Okay. Excellent. No, that all sounds good. I think it is going to be one of the more difficult positions at a convention because you're coordinating. You're not just going, okay, I have like 500 tables, and once I have terrain to fill 500 tables, that's cool. We can run 1,000-person tournament, and I need a team of 20 judges to run 1,000-person tournament. But once it's running, you can go, okay, here are the rules for it. Once you've done all that, you don't have much else to do. But what you're doing here is when you're coordinating 64 different artists across 12 different rooms across 8 different time slots each day. I think that the incredible amount of work that goes into that beforehand is amazing. And as you know, I'm a huge fan of yours for doing this and putting this all together. I think it's something that just adds so much to each convention that something like this is at. So, and we had Dan Osborne on shortly after Nova,
Sweetheart, yeah,
to talk about his role and what he did at Nova, basically doing the same thing. So
same thing, yeah.
You guys are doing it big for all of the great the major, I guess,
The
US
big three, yeah.
events. So definitely cool. Sorry, okay, Scott is trying back in. Not a class per se, but some dedicated time would be great. Typically found as mad dash to talk to very tired judges at the end of a con who are desperate to do anything but talk.
Well, that's something else. We are kind of, I don't want to say strict, but we are very upfront with the judges. It's like, look, this is your job when you're here. We do expect you to, do the judging, and we do need some of you to hang back afterwards. We want to be able to give feedback to people. So they know, and they know what to expect then. And that way you alleviate judges coming up, oh, well, I didn't know I had to do that too. Oh, I didn't know, and I've been in a couple competitions where the judges are like, what are you talking about? Why do I got to do that? Well, it was never said to them to begin with.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest, I guess my theme after taking over so many different things has been transparency. I want transparency. I want, my judges, I want my students, I want my teachers all on the same page. I want them all to know what is happening, what is going on. And to be able to ask questions and get a straight answer. To me, that's very, very important. So that's kind of what I've been trying to implement as much as possible. I know it was kind of funny at AdeptiCon, me and Dan were talking, and even Seth, because it was back when Seth had LVO, and we were in the back room and we talked for over an hour, just about we were laughing. We called each other the three amigos, or the three musketeers, because we each had one of the big cons, and we built this camaraderie together, and we thought it was important that we should be talking to each other. We should be, instead of thinking of it almost as competition, we need to come together and beat each other's conventions and support each other's conventions, because none of us are actually right. We're not on top of each other. So why not support each other? And so me and Dan are still talking about that. And it was another reason I was more than happy to go to Nova. I'm like, absolutely, I'll make a presence there. Absolutely. I want to talk to the other, some of the other artists that I'd never gotten to meet yet. They're going to be at AdeptiCon. Gave me a chance to talk to some of them.
Yep.
But I think it's important. We need to support each other, with me and Dan and these other cons.
Yep.
And I mean, I've got a great relationship with Lynn from MHE. We actually help her there at Gen Con. That's another one I don't get sleep at, because after our vendor booth, we go upstairs and help her judge MHE and things like that. And Dragon Con, we donate, like this year, we donated 200 little mimic chests for people to paint at the paint and take. And Trevor doesn't judge in that one or do anything more, because he actually enters it.
Right.
But we do support it and do that. But we should also be supporting each other.
Absolutely. We're always going to make just a stronger, more enjoyable event when everybody's working together, right?
Yep, it just makes a tighter family.
For sure. So that's it's very cool. Stephen Ryder has joined us. Hey, Stephen. He said he's cooking dinner, but is listening to us. Pretty cool. Don't burn anything. But no, fantastic. Cool. Well, thanks very much for all of that, Charity. I think we're going to bit more. We've got a better idea of how things are going to go for LVO, Verko Vault's involvement, and your part with them, AdeptiCon, all the craziness that we can expect from that.
Everything under one roof again. Yay!
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be very exciting. And I'm looking forward to doing lots of walking and lots of hugging people and lots of eating wonderful food.
Oh, yes. More German food.
Alan's asked a perfect question. When does the booking for classes at AdeptiCon tend to go live?
I want to. Oh shoot! I should have written that down. had it this morning. I believe December.
Yep. So like early December, I think.
I believe so. I might have the exact date if you give me just a minute.
Yep.
Hank might know off the top of his head, though.
He might. Scott said, actually, guys, wrestling was never better than during the Monday Night Wars with WWF and WCW. We're at each other's throats. So keep that in mind. The comparison for GameCons is perfect.
Solid.
Well, that's the great thing, is that everybody can talk about it, right? And we can all support it, but we just provide different offerings. You don't have to provide exactly the same thing at each con. Provide a different offering, but everybody understands why it's different.
Okay, December 16th is our event cart preview.
Okay.
We can go on and look. And then January 12th, it goes live.
January 12th goes live. Okay, so you got but 4 weeks there between December 16th and January 12th to check out all of the things that you want to do, prepare, get it all ready for when cart goes live on January 12th.
Where we all sit there like this, yeah. Refresh.
Fantastic. Awesome.
Oh, and just a quick mention about the AdeptiCon moving. A lot of people in the past have been not happy per se about the hotel situations. Okay. This is a fantastic move for AdeptiCon. We have 3 hotels connected to the Barrett Convention Center. And not just that, we have at least 4 or 5 just in walking distance. Yep. The amount of hotel rooms alone that are available is absolutely phenomenal compared to what we used to have to do. So it's also more affordable. A lot of these rooms are not going to cost us $2,000, to stay a couple days. Yeah. Whereas before, that's kind of what you were looking at. You had to break it up between 4 and 5 people if you really wanted to get a room there. You don't have to do that really anymore. It's a fantastic opportunity. It's also fantastic, I think, for families to come. There's much more to see and do. If your family wants to, go out and go to the zoo or go see something else, there's lots of things in the general vicinity within walking distance that they can go and do and see while you're either gaming or painting or vice versa. I mean, I think it's a much, much better venue and opportunity for all of us.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We're definitely excited about it. Very cool. So Charity, I think we mentioned before the show, when we were chatting, that now we go in and we talk about our photos that we get from our Facebook group, from the BuildPaintPlay community, link down below. Also, speaking of links down below, there's a whole bunch of them down there, so you can go and check out the LVO website, the AdeptiCon website. You can check out I think we're going to link to T-shirts. We're going to link to T-shirts. We don't have a link to the hoodies yet.
No, not yet. Well, next week.
Next week we'll have that for next week. But yeah, loads of other links below. Excellent. So are we ready to check out the minis? Okay.
Hell yeah.
Let me go through and press all of the buttons again. Oh, just pressing the wrong button.
So Charity, a lot of times what Dave does is Dave walks us through what he's doing, which is a huge hit with the fans.
Sometimes I just do.
Hear him talk.
Sometimes I just do it a little bit. I mentioned that I'm pressing the wrong button and things like that. But fantastic.
Nice.
This is sick.
Oh, sorry. Scott says there's more to do in Milwaukee than Chicago. Charity, that is a hot take. The entire state of Illinois just choked on the Giordano's deep dish. I think what you'll find, Charity was saying, there's more to do within half a mile of the Baird Center than there is within half a mile of the Renaissance in Schaumburg.
That's true.
Schaumburg, we were way out in the boonies. There was nothing to do unless you took an Uber into downtown Chicago,
The great thing is, I mean, yeah, you're like an hour away from downtown Chicago in Schaumburg. You're about an hour and 20 away from downtown Chicago in Milwaukee. So
exactly. So if you still want to go, you can.
Excellent. And Josh says, I came here for the minis and I stayed for the narration. Awesome. So, yeah, first up, Dave Hummel bringing us back on track. Damn, that's a battle axe. It is. So, Adam Weller has our showing us the first mini here.
Yeah, Adam's been killing it. Like I love the way the non-metallic gold on the axe blade is awesome. The axe blade itself, there's so much like weathering and like life to that.
Yep. And the skin tones are great, but yeah, the shading under here, the shadow that's cast, all looking fantastic. The different textures, Adam always does a great job of that. Yeah, beautiful work. Yep. Scott says I stand corrected. I come from a city the size of Anchorage, so these weird cities that are part of other cities scares and terrifies me. Totally fair. Schaumburg scares and terrifies me too. I would never leave the hotel. When I was there. But no, beautiful work there, Adam. It looks fantastic. Thanks for sharing.
I like it a lot.
Next up, Alan. So we got Alan who's in the chat, picking up some more models for Carnivale from TT Combat. These looking fantastic. Said he enjoyed doing some research on hyenas. So it looks like
the one on the right looks great. I really like the dark one.
The darker one, yep. I love the hyenas have a that glow in their eyes.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're magically controlled. I have a feeling they might be.
Or just painted during nighttime while there's night vision bouncing off their eyes.
Oh, okay, yeah, reflecting. Somebody's shining a spotlight at them. But no, fantastic. These look great, Alan. Really nice. Excellent work. So yeah, maybe you can bring some of those and play against Scott. He said he bought some.
I like John Coffey in the middle with his red pants. He's like, I'm tired, boss. I have to throw in this through somebody.
Yep. It looks great. They're supposed to be slightly red eyes, but I go with magical control as well. Fantastic.
They look great.
Yep. Nice work. Cal's been working on some more terrain. I think he said that was
nice.
From Future Proof Terrain.
Nice work, Cal. Hank only needs 70 more tables of this.
Yep. You can do it. No time at all. He's been working on these with speed paints, so definitely looking good. The model
on the jade, like the jade on the floors, looks super cool, and I like the weathering and the washes he has on like the walls.
Yep. Yeah, looking really good. Fantastic. Yeah, Hank would definitely love to have you send him 70 tables worth of this. That'd be great. There we go. Future Proof Terrain by Snot Goblin Gaming.
Nice.
Yeah, looking good, Cal. Chris Kevig mentioned before that he painted up a Reaver in a week.
Dude, I feel like I'm traveling through time.
Yeah.
So I had an armor cast Warhound back in the day.
Right. Okay.
This thing is so tiny. This is about the same height as the current Warhound.
Okay.
Like where the missile launcher is on its back. That's where like the Alpha Warhound's head is.
Right. Yep. Is that like a slow cooker?
Yeah, Chris has got a lot going on. He's got a crock pot, and then I see like on the left he's got the new Star Wars game between the Reaver's legs. That's the new Star Wars card game.
Right.
And then he's got Rock Hard, which is a super fun Rock Hard 1977. It's a game all about like being a touring band. It's really fun. It's a board game.
Yep.
I see Clash of Steel, which is Flames of War.
Right.
And he's got some Twilight 2000, which is a fictional World War III RPG.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot going on here. And then an armor cast Reaver from 1989 or whatever, like whatever year that is.
Fantastic.
I love it.
But yeah.
Classic loadout too. He's got the defense laser for the right arm, the Melta lance for the left arm, and then the missile battery on the torso, the carapace mount.
Absolutely. Hank is asking what you're doing on spray team weekends. You want to head to Peoria, Illinois? Fantastic work there, Chris. Cliff Edders posted this under the caption, I'm about to blow Dave Taylor's mind. So always because I razz Cliff about he goes, oh, here's my finished mini, and it's like, you haven't finished the base yet, Cliff. And so he finished with this one. He finished the base before the mini. Before he started painting the mini. But he said he finished it. He's still got to paint that black base rim, but he might be.
He started to do the rim.
Yeah, he's still going to do the rim. He might be saving that for the end.
That's great. That's a great model too.
It is a fantastic model. This is a new one from the Horus Heresy.
Yeah,
from the Mechanicum.
But you could totally use this for 40K.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But in the post, he was talking about how this piece is completely hollow in the middle. So rather than just relying on the 4 sort of spindly or 3 spindly legs to attach it, you pack this full of putty, and then there's a post up the middle, which is a great idea.
Absolutely.
Definitely cool. And I like the little bit of crackle that he's got going on in his Martian.
It looks like a pizza.
Well,
they're from the Pizza Forge world. It's a giant rectangular oven in space, and they make STC pizzas. They just crank them out.
Fantastic. That great stuff. I'm glad you flipped the script on it, Cliff. Look forward to seeing him painted. Next up, Dave Hummel.
Very nice.
Dave probably this week has been putting together some more shelves. So he's pretty excited about getting those models on.
I see a whole bunch of dreadnoughts.
Yep.
I think that's a Bane blade up on the top.
Yeah. No. He said on the top shelf he's got all of his Primaris units.
Okay.
But yeah, loads of stuff on there.
A lot more organized than mine.
Me too. You can see that from the slump that I have on my desk.
I always make sure that if I have my miniatures up on a shelf, it has to have glass doors, because otherwise they just get covered in dust. So my stuff is either in cases or in a glass cabinet. Well,
what Dave hasn't said is that this box over here,
yeah,
this is full of like compressed air, so they can dust as it goes.
It's not bad.
But yeah, I'm with that. Okay, so
this is sent in by Dave Taylor, rookie novice painter, working on his first ever bust here. I think it looks great.
Yeah, it's not bad. It worked out pretty well.
It's pretty solid.
But no, I thought I'd break it up so I wasn't just talking all the time at the start. I ended up talking all the time at the start anyway. But yeah, I'm really excited. So I posted this in the group and said it was my first bust, and Scott was like, "Really? Why are you painting your first bust now? What's going on?" And it's like, it's because I got a whole bunch of busts sent to me from by Christoph Kyle, from Christoph. So this is one of the ones that he sculpted, and I know he put a lot of time and effort into this face. This is probably his, I think probably his like 8th or 9th bust that he's finished, and I just love the face on it. It was just so.
You going to use this as an objective marker for your Inquisition army?
I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Actually, I do want to know what I'm going to do with it, but I can't say. I'm going to do something with it, but I'm not allowed to say yet.
What are you, a member of the Warrior Lodge? I can't say.
Yeah, I can't say. But no, I was very very excited about it. It that face almost painted itself, which was super cool.
That is impressive.
Because I
So clean.
I primed it black, hit it with a zenithal of Corax white spray, and then I did it all with Warpaint's Fanatic paints, and I started with or is it Barbarian Flesh?
Solid color.
And so I just thinned this down a little bit and painted it over the head, and that Zenithal Prime took care of so much sort of shading. so much definition initially that I could come back and mixed in some ice yellow for some of the highlights. I mixed in some initially I mixed in some of the deep ocean blue for the shadows.
Nice.
So underneath on his top lip there, down under the chin, on the sides of his cheeks there.
Josh says, Dave's miniatures paint themselves? That tracks. Now we know his secret.
Man, I wish all of them did that, but no, it's just this one. It's a magical German sculpt. But yeah, I was just really, really excited by it. It
looks good, man.
A lot of fun. The one of the things that was really cool to do as well is after I'd painted the eyes, I put a dab of gloss varnish on them. And it's like, yeah, that just really sort of picked them out. Can't see it too well in these photos, but yeah.
So they look wet like they should be.
Yeah, exactly. But there he is there.
Very nice.
So I've got a bunch more to sort of mess around with, but yeah, I'm really excited to start doing that just for a bit of fun, bit of goofiness, and yeah, something in between the endless armies that I work on. But no, fantastic. Awesome. Scott said, "Oh, is that the Meadow Baron?"
I got you.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. Moving right along. Jeff Smith. Jeff is the I think the final 3 miniatures from the Dungeon Saga commission he was working on. So the final 3 heroes. And Jeff also posted.
I really like the cleric. I think the cleric on the right looks awesome.
Right. Yep.
I hope that he took a micron pen and put some scribbles on that book.
All right.
But other than that, no feedback.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the quilted armor on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were cool. And Jeff also posted a couple of photos of the
the whole box set. Or this is one of the layers of the box set.
Yeah, I think there were like 3 layers in there. But yeah. Look, fantastic. They all got awesome all together as well, Jeff.
I asked him too. I was like, please tell me you matte varnished all these. He's like, oh yeah, there's a couple coats of matte varnish. Like, they're board game pieces somebody's gonna be playing with. I was like, please matte varnish those.
Yeah, and also like taking them in and out of those trays.
Oh yeah.
Get a bunch
if I'm being honest, I probably would have done 2 or 3 layers of matte varnish, but
yeah, that's fair. But they look great, Jeff. Nice work. Next up, Joe Neat. So Joe, he said when he posted this, he said that he's finished up this unit filler. So I know Joe plays a lot of Kings of War.
Yeah, I think he said he's using this for Kings of War.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome. The scroll work is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
The pen looks great. I love the little nurgling down the bottom who's eating the scroll. Like,
yeah. That does look fantastic. I think the green skin, all the subtle highlighting on it.
Yeah,
like smooth transitions.
Joe is a fantastic painter. He's always been a great painter. He's like sneaky good though, because he like busts stuff out. And when you see big photos of all of his stuff, you're like, oh, it's a solid table quality army. And then you're like, you need to get closer. It's really well done. Yeah,
looks great, Joe. Nice work. And Joe also posted some.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, these are good.
Puppers.
Some dire wolves.
Yeah, they look very cool.
Again, basing makes such a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a great model on a crappy base and the model doesn't look great. You can have an okay model on a great base and instantly the model looks better. When you have a great model on a good base, it just looks, it's an order of magnitude better. So
yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry. Steven's just thrown in a suggestion for board game minis is to gloss varnish them first because you get a thicker, stronger protective coating, and then
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. The only reason I don't is like sometimes people don't buy the newest coats, and then it'll frost your minis, which is a nightmare. So you always want to test it before you do your minis.
Absolutely. But yeah, nice work, Joe. Looking great. Very cool. Kelly Rowe painted up Archangel.
Ah, there you go, Dave. All right, Dave's coming along. I'm proud of you, buddy.
I can read the captions. Are you gonna tell us a bit about Archangel? I can't tell you anything.
So he's one of my favorites. So remember last week we saw Angel?
Yep.
Okay. So Angel in the comics gets his wings ripped off in a big battle.
Right.
And he's bummed because his only mutant power is that he has wings. So he's basically not really like he's a mutant, but he isn't anymore. He can't really do anything. Sure. So Apocalypse comes along and Warren's all depressed, and Apocalypse offers to bring his wings back for a price, and Angel agrees, and the price is that he becomes his fourth horseman death. Sorry, he becomes the fourth horseman of Apocalypse, death. And now he has like machine metal wings that he can control. They're made out of like biosteel, but they're cool because like he can make them into different shapes, and he can shoot the feathers off them, and they're coated in like a neurotoxin. He's like way more dangerous than he used to be.
Right. Excellent. Oh, Dave Hummel says he's going to send me the Marvel Encyclopedia for Christmas.
So that's a solid gift.
Jake will love you for that.
That's a big coffee table book.
But yeah, but no, Archangel looks great here, Kelly. Beautiful job. Particularly, I got to say as well, and just talking about bases, I love the that sand and sandstone color and texture that you've got going on there.
No. Not on the board.
What you have there? Oh,
that is a big cat.
His name is Erebus.
Is that a pet jaguar?
He thinks he is.
But did you hear his name, Jake? Erebus.
Yeah, Erebus. I mean,
yeah.
Erebus is full of lies. So
lies. Awesome. But no, beautiful work, Kelly.
Yeah, this looks awesome.
Ken's continuing some work on his Tau army. So this is a Vespid Stingwing.
Dude, the new Vespid sculpts. I mean, when we had Mark on a couple weeks ago, Mark Gibbons, I love that the new Vespid are perfect examples of his art. The old ones were good, but they were a little goofy. The new ones are amazing.
Yeah, they do look great. I love that they are more insectoid.
Yeah,
much more of an insectoid body feel. But yeah, and Ken's working with that that sort of deep red armor for all of his Tau.
Yeah, because he's doing the far side enclaves.
Yep, fantastic. Excellent. Nice work, Ken. Cool. Luis, as we mentioned, Luis, the sub-assemblies. So Charity, Luis came to miniature painting through Gundam and to Jake's store.
Yeah, scale modeling and
scale modeling and Gundam stuff. We've got a Gundam piece that we'll see in a few minutes. But so because he's used to working in sub-assemblies, he's taken that same work flow through to minis. And works on each piece individually, and then brings them together at the end. So, I would guess in a week or two, we'll see. Let's say 2 weeks, we'll see a completed Imperial Fists Praetor.
I like how he did an undercoat of green, like a dark green, and then built it up into the yellow.
Yeah.
So then we put it all together, you'll have those really nice, like shadowy, dirty undertones, which is really cool.
Yeah.
This is a great model. One of our first episodes, Dave and I, we talked about all the new Praetors, and this model is still fantastic. It is so good. Nice. I do love that. I do love the idea that they cut out the center.
All right.
The center of the sword. The only reason you would ever do that is to save weight. And as a Space Marine, who cares? Why would you do that? They don't need you to do that. But It's probably also it probably keeps the sword stiffer because there's a hole in the middle of the actual frame.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it looks great. It's a great visual piece, but mechanically, you're like, why would they wouldn't do that?
There's no need.
It should be a giant airplane wing with a handle on it. Like they don't need any weight saving.
Absolutely. But yeah, looking great there, Luis. But yeah, speaking of some bits and pieces that Luis has done before, so this is one of his throwback pieces. I just love this wrap. Oh, sorry, Charity, you were going to say?
No, I really like it. I like the weathering and.
Yeah. He also shared in the group how he does salt weathering. Very clever, very well done. So the idea is you paint the whole model the rust color, and then he almost gets the model a little bit wet, like he'll kind of spritz it, and then he sprinkles kosher salt, rock salt, and then regular salt to get the different sizes and stuff. And you sprinkle as much as you want, and the water gets it to stick. And then as soon as the water gets it to stick, and then hopefully the paint is dry, you let it dry, and then you spray it with the next color. And then you just go back and scrape all the salt off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never thought to mix the 3 types of salts. I've always just made almost like a paste with the salt.
Okay.
And then I'll put it where I want it, and then I'll put little bits on as well. But it's just by looking at this, you can see that the rust looks much more realistic because there's so many different random sizes and shapes, and it's awesome.
Yeah. One of the things I love about this is the thermal wrapping around the exhaust there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. Nice work, Luis.
It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I mentioned the Gundam.
I do love giant robots.
Yep. So Luis did mention in the post who this is and where in the timeline it's from, but he said that he took some artistic liberties with this, and because normally it's a like a 3-tone gray theme, but obviously there he's punched in some blue, some spots of like a nice vibrant blue, saturated blue.
I like it.
Some of these gray panels have got some blue in there as well.
Yeah, it looks really good. His transfer work is so good too.
Yeah,
like all the water slides, like they're seamless.
Yep. Have you worked on any done any Gundam work at all, Charity?
No, but for the first time, we are actually having some Gundam working classes at AdeptiCon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is that
Nestor?
Awesome.
So I might poke in, and check that out when he does them.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
I know my daughter is into them, so.
Right. Nice. Yeah. So if anybody's into
they're fun kits,
the Gundam, or think about getting into it and want to head to Adepticon, check that out. Yeah, Nestor's been doing Gundam stuff for a long time, so there'll be some good classes. But awesome. Corey says hopes to go to the con in 2025. Nice. And Luis also showed us that he's doing some work deep cleaning his airbrushes. So
his collection of guns.
Quite the selection there. Loving it. Awesome.
A lot of work.
So yeah.
Somebody's copying Dave.
I wouldn't say that. I think it's actually going through and painting up like each of the Kill Team boxes.
Nice.
Team unit boxes.
There's so many good ones. My issue with Kill Team is I get stuck because there's 6 or 7 that I want to play.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't know that I want to actually buy and build and collect 6 or 7 different Kill Teams.
Fantastic.
But I salute Keith's approach. He's like, I'm just going to buy them all and paint all of them, and then I'll figure which one I want to play.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Sorry. Quickly, Corey says definitely need to upgrade to a better airbrush. What's the next good next level for someone who has a Badger and the basic Iwata? We'll let Luis
Carter and Steenbeck.
chat you there.
I would say Grex. I've had really good luck with Grex. I like their grips, but
I've got a Grex because of my hand surgeries. I can't make that motion very well, so I have the hand.
Yeah, I prefer
Grex,
that than this. Like this does not feel natural to me.
Nope.
So
it's a pretty broad question there, Corey. Hopefully Luis will chime in with what he uses. But yeah, Harder and Steenbeck are a good choice. You might, depending on what you have as a Badger, if you've got a Badger Patriot, maybe the Badger Renegade might be the next step for you there. But also jump into our Facebook group, Build Paint Play community, and you can ask the question there, and we'll have a longer discussion. But cool, excellent. I am super tempted. I've got one more squad of arbitrators, but I don't know whether to go with this so that I can run them for kill team, or whether to go with the subjugator squad, which is all the shields and mauls.
I do like this. You already have 2 of this squad, so do the subjugators.
I got 2 of the shotgun squads, the exactions squads. So, but yeah, there we go. Excellent. Okay. Next up. Oh, Stephen. So speaking of Stephen, we've got
bullywugs.
More of the bullywugs, which all look wonderfully cool.
They're so hilarious.
Oh.
You're attacked by frog dudes.
5 of them have spears.
Yeah.
4 of them have swords, and one of them has a platter with a lily pad on it. But
and slap you with it.
Yeah. But they're looking great. I love your variety of greens in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
The purple undertone's a nice touch too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely under there.
You can see how old these sculpts are. Like there's like the metal under the arm, like connecting everything.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You guys, the sphere. It's like, oh, the molds weren't cut right, so yeah, like they all have it. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Absolutely. But looking great there, Stephen. Very nice. And Stephen's working on a bunch of stuff at the moment.
Yeah,
loads of things going on.
The lizard men look rad.
No.
I 100% had that. I think that's an evil fighter on Warhorse on the bottom left.
Oh, over here?
The metal guy, the one that's not primed.
Yep.
And then behind that, he's got, those are either dragon men or they might be draconians, but those don't look like the Dragonlance ones. I think those are just dragon men because they couldn't call them draconians.
Okay. Oh, this is in his army for Hobgoblin.
Nice.
So Hobgoblin by Mike Hutchinson, published by Electi Studio.
Sweet.
So yeah, definitely cool. Nice. Well, that looks like you're going to have a lot of fun finishing that off. You should have that done in a week, Steve? Be all good. But looking very cool. Next up, we've got Tommy's tool.
Very
Tommy,
nice.
I think that's the last photo we've got for the minis. But yeah, Tommy has been painting up a bunch of the Warhammer Fantasy terrain, now old world terrain. But yeah. Oh, sorry, Stephen Chuckleton said probably by the end of November he'll have it finished. So that'll be cool.
This is great. It's such a cool building. Like again, terrain is so weird to me. Like it's really hit or miss. Either it's like, yep, there's some cool terrain in the background, awesome. And then there's pieces like this where you're like, this is a miniature. Like there's so much detail and there's so much character to this piece.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we've talked about it before, when you have like a big war game with loads of models, the quality of your terrain doesn't have to be particularly high.
Right.
Because the focus is on the minis and the minis moving around and passing over. When you have a skirmish game with a fewer minis that aren't as much focus and terrain is much more interactive in a skirmish game.
Yeah, you want that immersive feel. You want all that. Yeah, this looks great.
But something with like one of the old world, one of the fantasy battles is you've got those things, but you only have a few pieces of terrain. So if you only have a few, like 4 or 5 pieces of terrain on the table, you can really hone in on the details.
There's so many cool Easter eggs to this piece too. Like if you start at the top, there's like the crow on like the little punch out, and then there's a shield with the Sigmar double-tailed comet, and then there's the cruciform skull, and then you go down and you've got the sign with the little Grim Reaper on it, and then there's the tavern window, and then under it there's a shield,
right,
and then above it you've got the header over the door, like the beam.
Yep.
And then you've got like the night watch candle, and then under that there's like little bits and bobs kind of hanging there.
Yep.
And if you
some bells and some bottles.
Yeah, and then if you go around the corner, leaning up against that other pillar, there's like a sword and some like random stuff there. And then there's the sign on the wall, and then the chains holding the chimney up. I love that the chains have to hold the chimney. Instead of just building a chimney up, they're like, let's have it come out of the building. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you got like this chains, like there's just so much going on this piece, and he did such a great job with it without it feeling like, you know, it's a rainbow sprinkle cookie. Like it's very subtle and everything's done really well, but it's still all there. It's not just like distracting.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to do when you have a model that has like that many things kind of happening. So
yeah,
I would say easily Golden Demon winner building, like easily. In the new building category.
Right. Yeah. That you're just adding now.
Yeah. It's brand
new. Awesome.
Did you guys see Tommy Sewell's Golden Demon winning building? He won the Slayer sword for his building.
That would be fantastic. It would be awesome. But yeah, fantastic. Thanks very much, Tommy, for sharing that. Tommy, of course, is Volume 5 in the Art of series. Definitely check out his book.
I think he's going to be Volume 17, which is all his buildings.
All his buildings.
Just terrain.
The buildings of Tommy Sewell.
Yeah.
That's a diorama. That ain't terrain.
Nice one. But thank you very much, everybody, for sharing your minis with us. We always love to look at them each week. It's definitely a highlight for us. But super cool. And then, of course, after this, we show who we've got joining us next week.
Ooh, secret.
Oh, you ready? Ready?
Is it secret? Is it safe?
Nope. We've got Christian Smith joining us next week.
I like him already. He's got a mohawk. He's got a dog. He's good people.
I knew that you would love this photo. That's why I used it. I actually haven't checked with Christian yet if I could use this photo, so I'll have to check with him before we throw it into the rest of circulation.
Nice.
But Christian ran a couple of classes at Nova on photographing miniatures. He's been doing photography for decades, and I wanted to attend his class. When I found out it was happening, like he said, "Oh, I'm running these classes now." I think the classes came in pretty late, and I was like, "Okay, fantastic." He made the post like an hour beforehand. I went to the website, sold out. Put my name down for the notify me if a ticket becomes available. Twice, ticket became available, and by the time I got to it, it was sold out. So I think
you couldn't have just played the. Do you know who I am?
No, I don't do that. I don't do that. That's a terrible thing to do.
That's what Dave has me for, so I can be like, "Do you know who he is?"
But what I did instead was I said, "Hey, Christian, sorry I missed out on your class. Could you come and teach it to us on BuildPaintPlay?" So
nice.
You'll be able to get see Christian running through his class. Basically, he did send me his handout from the class. I'm going to go through that. We're going to pick some specific bits and pieces. But yeah, next week's going to be a little bit less of a rambling chat like we usually have, a bit more of a focused lesson from Christian. We'll talk about things like
I'll do my best.
We'll talk about things that are all the basics of photography. We'll talk about the difference between phones on cameras on a phone or a digital SLR camera. we'll talk about how backgrounds impact what your model is going to look like, and that kind of thing. So it should be a fun time. It'll definitely be super cool.
Well, Dave gets us prepped. Charity, is there anything else you wanna spotlight, bring to attention, mention?
I don't know. I guess I'm just super lucky that I work with the people I do. I mean, pretty spoiled, I think. You know, at LVO, we don't just have Verko's Vault helping me. I mean, I've got Frankie and Jake on board helping me there from the frontline gaming side of things, and they have really just rolled out the welcome carpet for us, which was really nice. You know, and then of course, like I said, with AdeptiCon now being under one roof, that just alone just feels so awesome and exciting. And I hope everybody takes advantage and comes and sees one or the other, and take advantage of the teaching prospects. The LVO alone, we have some of the different instructors than we're going to have at AdeptiCon. So please, you know, look, find something. If you have questions, like I said, we're completely transparent. So you can always send me a message. You can send Frontline a message. You can send Verko's Vault a message. We'll all reply if you have any questions.
Yep, absolutely fantastic. So I think, so Charity, do you mind if I give out your Adepticon email address?
No, please do.
So charity.edwards@adepticon.org. Nice and
That's
simple.
me.
You can shoot Charity a question about anything that's going on at Adepticon there. But yeah, so it was super cool having you on to talk about it. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And I'm looking forward to seeing it all continue to grow for many years to come.
Me too. Thanks for having me.
Definitely cool. You're welcome.
All right, so while Dave preps this, thank you everybody for being here. We really appreciate it. Thanks for pushing us over 700. We had a bunch of likes in it, so hopefully people will be sharing this other places, and you know, put it somewhere where you think people might see it and check it out. Thank you so much to Charity for being here. It was awesome for her to take the time out and take a chunk out of her afternoon to spend some time with us. Huge thank you to the Army Painter for sponsoring us. We will see you all next week, and as always, do not forget to build, paint, play.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.